Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, December 19th, 2022. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Also, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the significant feature map across the Atlantic for this evening. We can see where we have a cold front stretching all the way from North Atlantic down into portions of the Bahamas and Cuba. And if we actually take a look back at the satellite images, we can see the clouds associated with that cold front bringing overcast skies and showers to portions of, let's say, Mexico, Cuba, the Bahamas, and maybe even the southern portions of Florida right there. Alright, so let's just take a look at the prediction that was made yesterday for today's weather. It was stated that we would have received some amount of rainfall across portions of eastern Jamaica according to both the Euro and the GFS in the morning. And then in the afternoon in western Jamaica. What actually happened? Let's take a look. Alright, so if we actually take a look at the latest satellite images, yes, we can see where we had some clouds coming in from the east, and then they made their way into sections of central Jamaica. Then in the afternoon in western Jamaica as well. And if we actually take a look at the latest Doppler radar images, we can see some amount of green coming off of the western tip of Westmoreland right there. Greens and yellows representing moderate to strong rainfall. And if we actually also take a look at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, we'll see where the actual rainfall took place. So just as predicted, portions of eastern Jamaica, maybe mainly in Portland, maybe portions of St. Mary as well as sections of western Jamaica, so maybe the western tip of St. Elizabeth, as well as the southern coastline areas of Westmoreland. Alright, so let's take a look at the temperature map across the island for this evening. So we're seeing that we're going to be having 24 degrees Celsius in Spanish Town, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 21 degrees Celsius in Mandeville, 24 degrees Celsius in Port Antonio. And these are the temperatures that we're going to be getting tomorrow. The same average or slightly above average temperatures represented by the gold or the orange colors right here. This map shows the temperatures across the Caribbean right here at the bottom right side of this image at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, and we can see where we're going to be having average or above average temperatures according to both the Euro and the GFS model. And we know that when we have consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. If you actually take a look at the wind forecast, the low level winds across the island coming in from the east tomorrow, and it is showing 10 to 20 knot winds across the island from the east on both the Euro and the GFS model. And we actually have some of this air piling up across portions of central and western Jamaica during the afternoon. So if there is a chance of afternoon convection, it's going to be taking place inland areas of central and western Jamaica. And with the wind shear coming in from the west northwest, if any of these afternoon convection thunderstorms or thunderclouds should rise up high up in the atmosphere, then those will be blown off towards the east southeast in that fashion according to both the Euro and the GFS, with all of that wind shear across the Atlantic at this time. When we look at the precipitation forecast for tomorrow, we can see where we're going to be having some amount of rainfall represented by the blue, that's showing millimeters of rainfall. This is what, 6 a.m. on Tuesday, and the GFS is a bit more robust, showing some darker blues across portions of eastern Jamaica. Where is that? St. Thomas and Portland, 6 a.m. on both the Euro and the GFS. Let's skip ahead. 8 a.m. Some still raining across portions of eastern Jamaica at 8 a.m. on the Euro. The GFS is a bit more robust. More rainfall across portions of Portland and St. Thomas. Let's skip ahead now. 3 p.m. Look at this, that the Euro is showing lots of rainfall, some blues across portions of central and western Jamaica, and the Euro model is showing the GFS model, sorry, is showing something similar. Lots of blues across portions of central and western Jamaica with more of a bias towards northern parishes. 4 p.m. same thing, lots of blues. So there's some amount of rainfall that's gonna be, taking place across the island for tomorrow, and we actually take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast according to the Euro. We can see where the darkest greens that signal up to 0.18 inches of rainfall should be across portions of western Jamaica. We also have some greens across portions of eastern and central Jamaica, but the GFS is a bit more robust with the amount of rainfall that we're going to be receiving. It is showing from anywhere from 0.1 to almost 0.5 inches of rainfall, especially across northern parishes. So Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, maybe even portions of Hanover and St. James getting in on a lot of rainfall from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. Alright, so we shall see what happens with that. So it makes sense that our workers here with the Jamaica made a post stating that we will be receiving some amount of rainfall across portions of eastern Jamaica on Tuesday morning. That's 6 a.m. basically the same images that were just shown. And portions of central and western Jamaica on Tuesday afternoon, 3 p.m. So prepare yourself for that. Bring your rain gear if you're going out. We shall see how that unfolds. Alright, so that's it for the weather across Jamaica. Let's talk about the weather across the Caribbean for a second. So we spoke about that cold front that's affecting portions of Cuba and the Bahamas, and we showed the satellite images that were, depicting that significant feature. We still have some clouds across portions of the Caribbean either way. Look at all those clouds coming into portions of the Windward Islands, the portions of Barbados, portions of Trinidad and Tobago getting in on some amount of rainfall and cloud cover at this time. Look over in the Western Caribbean, also have some rainfall affecting portions of Nicaragua and Honduras by all of those fast moving low level clouds right there. Even portions of the Leeward Islands getting in on some amount of cloud cover and rainfall. So maybe St. Bart's, St. Martin, Anguilla, as well as possibly Puerto Rico later on this evening as well. And if we actually take a look at the Doppler radar images from, let's say, after 1 p.m. today up to this hour, let's get this into motion. So it will show us where it actually rained across the Eastern Caribbean for this evening. So all of those greens represent some amount of light to moderate rainfall. So we can see where portions of, let's say, those islands of the Leeward Islands, so the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Kitts. Look at all those greens coming in. Even sections of Puerto Rico getting in on some of the afternoon rainfall across portions of southwestern areas right there. Even Dominica as well, St. John's getting in on some of the rainfall in the afternoon into early evening as well. And if you actually take a look at the other Doppler radar images showing the rest of the Caribbean, so portions of, let's say, Belize getting in on some rainfall across the coastal areas right there, sections of Guyana, sections of Suriname, sections of French Guyana getting in on some rainfall as well. And if we actually take a look at the wind forecast for tomorrow, we can see that we're going to be having brisk easterly flow across the Caribbean according to both the Euro and the GFS models. So anywhere from, let's say, 10 to almost 25 knots, especially south of Jamaica and Haiti. Lots of strong winds there, especially to the north of Colombia right there. And if you actually take a look at the precipitation forecast from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday, we can see where we're going to be having that rainfall. So the Euro is showing what it showed across Jamaica, that most parishes or some parishes could be getting in on some of the rainfall tomorrow. Look at the Eastern Caribbean. So we're starting to incorporate some more islands. Yesterday it was Guadeloupe and Dominica. Look now, we're having some amount of rainfall showing up on the Euro and the GFS for sections of Martinique, sections of St. Lucia, sections of St. Vincent, Grenada, Barbados as well. Even portions of Trinidad, eastern Trinidad getting in on some of the rainfall. So anywhere from 0.1 to almost 0.3 3 inches of rainfall expected, and the occasional rainfall across the southern areas, so portions of Guyana, Suriname getting in on some of the rainfall, coastal areas of Venezuela, portions of Panama as usual, portions of Costa Rica with all of that tremendous rainfall still being received right there, portions of Nicaragua, portions of Honduras still getting in on some amount of rainfall. Puerto Rico, not so much. Maybe the southern coastline of Puerto Rico could be getting in on some of that rainfall. But look at the northeastern Caribbean, so portions of Anguilla, St. Bart's, Antigua, Barbuda might get in on some amount of rainfall. That's showing from anywhere from 0.1 to almost 0.5 inches of rainfall with all of that easterly or east-northeasterly flow of winds and clouds across the Caribbean. Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you all for watching.